All right, y'all. So I have been working so hard to set this up to show you all what I've done and the power of using AI to set up your systems, right? And more importantly, for me, I wanted to set up a streaming and recording platform so that way I can create these tutorials for you all, but also for me to be able to do some game streaming because I like gaming, my daughter likes gaming, and I wanted to share how I was able to set up OBS, a platform that is very, very popular. A lot of streamers use this platform, and I just started using it again. So I know that on this channel we talk about tech and AI, and I thought let me combine the two with the technology of OBS and the technology of ChatGPT to show you that beyond just using tutorials and watching other people set up their OBS, I actually use ChatGPT to help me like incrementally set up certain settings and to help me test using the power of voice chat, using the power of computer use, just using all the power I could use of this particular tool, okay? So as you can see on the right side, I wanted to quickly make sure that it was gonna work. I asked it, hey, can you see its OBS open? And it was able to see OBS being open. When I tell you that I've never done this before, right? And I believe somebody's gonna watch this video and their mind's gonna be blown away. And that's what this channel is all about, right? Just template what I do, whether you're using Mac, whether you're using PC or Linux, it does not matter. Just template what I do and make it work for you, okay? But I haven't seen anybody do this yet. Now, will people do this in the future? Absolutely. Are people probably doing this? Yes, but I haven't seen anybody make a video on this yet, okay? So this is not gonna be super in order. I'm gonna kind of go all over the place a little bit because that's how I like to flow, get my little flow on. Ooh, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But I think somebody's gonna get something out of this, okay? So as you can see, on the left side, I have OBS. On the right side, I have ChatGPT. I'm gonna start a fresh copy right here of ChatGPT. When I say fresh copy, I mean a new chat. Now, this is the problem I kept running into, and I'm telling you all, I ran into this so many times, I almost quit. This video almost did not come out because I was getting annoyed that my computer kept, well, not my computer, ChatGPT kept freezing every time I tried to record this video. And I found out the main reason why is because when you click this button here, you can choose if you want the chat to run on your computer or in the cloud. Right now, I'm using ChatGPT Work. I'm on the work side. There's the chat side here, but this is where you want to use the work because the work has access to your computer. But more importantly, this is where I kept running into the issue. It does not have the same access to your computer if you're in the cloud. And I kept freezing every single time. So I'm hoping somebody learns from this and does not run into the same mistake. So make sure you're on the computer when you do this. I'm not gonna work out of a project right now because you don't have to work out of a project in order for this to work. Because the cool thing is that ChatGPT Work, again, when you're on local, make sure you're on local, it has access to all my projects. It has access to all my past chat histories and things like that, okay? So let's ask it this question right here. Remember, I'm on local, I'm on work, and I'm just gonna quickly ask it. I'm gonna use the voice mode. Now, I'm not gonna use the voice chat. I'm just gonna use the dictation. Why? Because I don't know right now, and I don't wanna mess up this recording, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you have to realize when you're doing a recording and you're using the voice chat, not only is it using processing on your computer, right? Your CPU, it's also using the sound card. And you have to be careful because when you have multiple apps using your sound card, there can be an issue that happens somewhere. I promise you, I ran into this multiple times, y'all. I cannot say it enough. And I'm hoping to mitigate the issues you're gonna run into if you try the same thing. Now, for those of y'all who want to know specs and things like that, I'm using a MacBook Pro M5 chip, the base model. But like I said, use whatever you want to use. I'm just giving you the information because your operating system and your chipset matters completely when you're using OBS or you're using a ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. I'm not gonna use Gemini or Claude for this because I found ChatGPT to be the best use case for something like this, but it does not mean using Gemini and Claude won't work, right? Or even Grokbot, whatever you wanna use. But I wanna I wanna share this using ChatGPT. So I want to know, can you see OBS open right now? Use computer use in order to see that. Now I'm gonna let it go. Like I said, I use voice dictation. I really like the voice dictation mode. I love the voice chat as well, but because of I'm recording through QuickTime. Now here's the thing. Normally I would record through OBS. Somebody's probably asking, why aren't you recording through OBS? See, that's the thing. Because if I change scenes, and I'll share with that, I'll show you in a minute. But if I change scenes, it's not gonna show ChatGPT. So I needed a computer program to record my programs, right? Even my conditioner needs conditioner. You know what I'm saying? I had to, like, you have to think that way. It kind of gets complex, but you gotta think that way. So right now it's using computer use. As you can see, picture in picture just popped up. It's using computer use and it's going to see, okay, view the OBS window, boom. Now another thing too, I'm recording in 4K because I want you all to see the details. If I recorded in 1080, it might be smushed together, right? I'm recording in 4K, but my desktop display, it's at 2K. So my desktop display is at 2K, but I'm recording in 4K, so that way you all can see the details. So yes, I can see OBS is open right now. It's on the PS5 profile and scene collection. I'm not gonna make this an OBS tutorial. I'll share with you all. I'll do a tutorial later if you guys want to. Let me know in the comments. But when I say I got my OBS set up to be perfectly or to perfectly match my needs, right now, I do. Like, I did a whole bunch of testing, and right now I got it to match my needs. So when I turn my computer off and turn it back on, everything is set up. So for example, I'm gonna go through my cameras, my different scenes, which are also connected to some of my cameras. So for instance, right now I'm on the main cam, as you can see here. Now I'm on my second camera, which is an OBSBot, right? I'm using an OBSBot Tail Air. My main cam is a Sony. So this is a Sony A6700. My side cam is my OBSBot Tail Air. I even have another camera. I'm not gonna show because it's on a different profile, but I have another camera right here that points to my Rodecaster Pro. So matter of fact, I'll just do it. I'll let y'all see it real quick. Let me go here. Now, what I did before was I duplicated in OBS, I duplicated my PS5 scene collection, right? These are all the scenes here. If you're using OBS, you already know about this, right? So if you're watching this and you haven't used OBS, this may be new, it may be new for you, but if you use OBS, you kind of understand this already, okay? So if I go here and then I click on my overhead, I'm gonna click on my overhead. There you go. Now you can see my Rodecaster Pro 2, more specifically, okay? So let me go back to my scene collection. I'm gonna go back to PS5, and here we go. Bam, it pops up, right? Smooth, real smooth, right? Remember, I'm not recording in OBS right now. I'm recording with QuickTime so I can do the video that shows both of my apps with ChatGPT on the right side and OBS on the left side here, okay? So I'm gonna go through my scenes. I have my second camera, then I have my main picture-in-picture. This is for recording the PS5. I'm using an Elgato 4K X capture card in order to get the video and audio out of the PlayStation to my computer, okay? Then we have a second camera, picture-in-picture. I have a screen share right here. So remember, if I were recording through OBS and I wanted to continuously share my entire screen, it would be impossible because I would be going through these screens and it would be recording the canvas, what's on the canvas right now. So that's why I had to use QuickTime, which is a free app on Mac. I believe Windows has their own free app as well too. And you can do so, you can do it just like I'm doing right now if this is something that you are interested in, in recording both your apps at the same time while doing a demonstration using OBS or using another tool, okay? So here's another scene right here, and there you go. So that's just something real quick. Now, let's ask it this. My bad, that was my bad. I'm gonna click this again. Bam. Sometimes it can be so, like it clicks it and then sometimes it can go slow and it's hearing me right now. So scratch everything I just said. I want you to let me know, can you see the logs in OBS? Now you should not have to open OBS. You should be able to see the logs in the background. And like I told you, this is a video that I did not script out. I practiced at least making sure that the apps work, that the thing I wanted to teach you all worked, but I wasn't going to write a script for this. Yeah, some people like it, some people hate it. It is what it is, but that's how you know I free flow. I just flow with it. All right, so yes, I can expect OBS to save logs directly in the background without opening. There we go. So it can see right now exactly the logs that I have. Now the cool part is if I start streaming or recording, it can actually look at the logs in real time, right? So as I'm streaming and recording, it can see the logs in real time, which is super dope. Super dope because it helps you be able to customize the app. It helps you be able to understand the certain settings. So for example, in my settings here in OBS, I have the output, right? Again, if you are used to OBS, this is not new for you. But what can be new for you is using ChatGPT or using an AI app that you prefer to help you set this up. So I had ChatGPT set this up for me, or I had it help me set this up, and it was able to look at the bit rate, my encoder settings, from my streaming, my recording settings. It was able to help me with my audio. I did some custom audio routing as well too. It helped me with my video and my resolution for my input and output, or the base canvas and the output, okay? These are things that I already have an idea of. I already know a lot about it because I have an AV background, but there were some things like CBR and CFR and CRF and all these acronyms I didn't understand, so I had to learn quickly, but in ChatGPT completely helped with that learning curve, completely helped with it, okay? So that's something that I also want you all to know, that this thing can really help you when it comes to setting up your apps, setting up your recording apps, your video software, your audio software, whatever's on your computer, because it has computer use. And it's computer use by far, as of right now, it's the best, okay? I'm gonna say it like that. I believe it's computer use, it's the best. It's better than Claude, it's better than Gemini. Gemini is kind of weird right now because there's Gemini, there's anti-gravity, and then there's anti-gravity IDE. I don't like that Gemini has 3 different apps on my computer. For example, if I say anti-gravity, you'll see there's 2 anti-gravity apps, anti-gravity, anti-gravity IDE. Then we have the Gemini app. I'm gonna go back here, Gemini. I hope they consolidated. So for those of y'all who don't know, that's a big thing that ChatGPT did. Claude already had that functionality of the consolidation where you have Claude Code, Cowork, and Claude Chat all in one app. And that's what ChatGPT is doing. They wanted to create all their apps into one thing. Okay, so that was really, really big. Well, it doesn't matter. You guys can see my sidebar. I don't care. But that's one thing that was huge. So if I chat here, that's where you have the chat, which connects to the cloud, but then you have work where, and it's kind of confusing a little bit, where you can choose local work or in the cloud work. So it does kind of get a little confusing. However, irregardless, their whole idea was consolidating one app, because remember, we had a Codex app and then we had ChatGPT app. Well, they put it all in one, okay? So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go back to where we just were, okay? Boom. Now, hopefully you guys are kind of understanding what I mean by utilizing one app such as ChatGPT or Claude, for those of y'all who want to use Claude, or I'm not even going to say Google right now. Until they start consolidation, I can't recommend them as much, even though as of right now, Flash 3.7, it is a dope model. I'll give it credit. I just made a Google video. If you haven't seen that, check it out on the channel. And I did that before the 3.7 came out. So I'm gonna have to do an updated video because I really do like the 3.7. It is very, very smart. But in terms of using the Gemini apps, I'm not a fan of the separation of the apps. So I'm hoping they consolidate very, very soon. And I believe they will, because everybody's copying everybody. That's just how this thing goes, okay? So when it comes to my use case of this is just one example, right? This is just one example of my use case. I'm telling you, this changed the whole game for me to be able to set up OBS. I cannot explain that enough. It changed the whole game for me to set up OBS. Now, did I personally, set my canvas up? So for example, like, did I go in here and do this and do this again? Yes, I personally set my canvas up. But when it came to the settings, I literally had ChatGPT. Like, I had my hands up. I was like, hey, I want you to set things up and do things for me on my OBS and change this and change that. So for example, if I really wanted to do this right now, I can say this, just as an example. Can you duplicate my main cam scene in OBS. I'm gonna let that go. And that was one thing that I did. Now, in terms of me using my, well, should I do it at the same time? I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep talking. So when it came to using my PS5, connecting my PS5, right here, this was something that I wanted to make sure I had all the way together, dialed in, so that way if I do any gaming and streaming or recording and putting it on my gamer channel, I have a gamer channel, shout outs to GameStar Genie. I'll tag that channel to this channel here. So that way they're kind of like they're not brother and sister, but they're like companions, right? Because I use technology to game, but this channel is dedicated to using apps, is dedicated to using AI and combining those things together, right? But, you know, games is technology. And to be able to use them together makes it even sweeter. To use your game console, if it's an Xbox, if it's a Nintendo Switch or PS5, to be able to stream that and then talk to the AI at the same time. That's something else I kind of want to show you all. I'm thinking, should I do it in this video or should I wait to another video? But the cool thing is that ChatGPT can literally see where you are in the game and can coach you through that. And you can be talking to it in real time. And that's something that I know the kids are going to be doing like crazy in the future. I know I'm doing it now a little bit. Remember back in the day when we had to like print out walkthroughs and guides, or we had to go to the internet and look at a website that had the guides? Those days are gone. You literally can just be in your app talking to your voice mode, right? In ChatGPT, the voice chat, and it can literally tell you exactly where you are, what game it is. You don't even have to have the game name. It can visually see the game, where you are, what it is, and give you some help on that. Right now, I have it on standard mode. I could put it on fast mode so it'll be faster, but remember, fast mode takes up more tokens. And right now I'm using 5.6 Soul medium. I could be using 5.6 Soul light, right? But I'm using medium, so it is what it is. You guys can use whatever effort level you want. Medium seems to be the sweet spot for me. I go between medium and light. I rarely do high. I did test high, extra high, and ultra, and I would say those three effort levels, especially ultra, I would not use ultra for most people watching this channel because it starts to use sub-agents, it uses a lot of tokens, it over complicates things. So the most I would go to is high, maybe extra high if necessary. For the most part, medium and light is what most people need. Do I use ChatGPT? Do I use Terra? Nope, I don't use Terra. I don't use Luna. I want to use the best model at a reasonable effort. That's just how I like to get down in my stuff, right? So right now it's going through OBS scene list is not exposing the right. Click the menu cleanly to the visual controls. So I'm switching to OBS on local control interface. So again, when you're on fast mode, it does go faster. It can be a little slow sometimes, but the good thing is once it does something once or twice in the chat thread, it gets faster. The problem is that when you open up a new chat thread, it's like it's being born again for the first time. Dang, what movie? There's so many movies that it's like you're replaying the same, like you're replaying your life the same day. I mean, I can't think of a certain one right now that comes to my mind, but there's one with Adam Sandler. There's another one where this woman, she's like killed every single day. They've done it so many times, like Groundhog Day type of thing. They've done it so many times. Shout out to Bill Murray. But that's what it feels like. Even though you have instructions, you have skills, it still has to like get itself back together if you open up a new chat thread. That can get annoying, but it is what it is. You can see it just did what it just did. It opened up. I don't know why it did not duplicate. I don't see a duplication yet. So yeah, that's okay. But you get the point. The main thing is if you wanted to read your logs, it can read your logs in real time. It can see exactly what you're doing. Then it can see your frame rates. It can see your bit rate. It can see the frames drop. So every time my frames would drop when I would record or stream, it was able to detect the frame drop. Now in OBS, it can show that, but as a person who doesn't always want to dig into all the details, it was able to see my frames drop. It can tell me when the frames drop. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm going to cancel. See what I mean? Sometimes it starts to over-engineer, so I'm going to stop it. And this is normally where if I was not on this channel, I'd be cussing it out. I'd be like, what are you doing right now? But I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to get into this. Hold on. Okay, you are doing the most. I don't know why you are making this complicated. All I wanted you to do was duplicate the scene, the main cam scene, and you started to do all this extra stuff. It's not that complicated, okay? Now this time I am gonna use fast mode. For those of y'all who are watching this, they're like, why don't you just use fast mode? I'm gonna use fast mode this time and burn some tokens for y'all, okay? So let's do that. And let's see if this even makes it, a lot smoother in terms of how slow or fast it was going. I'm hoping you're right. I overcomplicated simple. And see, that's another thing that gets annoying. Because I didn't specifically say what to continue, it answered the question. Now I have to prompt it again via my voice. And that does get annoying sometimes. And that's something that, depending on the model, I'm telling you, sometimes you can't control that. Now, some of you are like, well, you could have, gave it a better direction or told it what to do. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but sometimes, no, I won't do all that. Okay, so when I said what I said, I wanted you to continue the original prompt that I gave you before, or original instructions. And any times it says you're right, that's why I'm like, listen, man, if you don't know what you're doing, the AI will be doing you. It will be steering you. I'm telling you. If you don't know it now, sometimes it's okay to not know what you're doing and let the AI guide you. Seriously, if you don't know what you're doing, but I'm letting you know, if you don't know what you're doing, the AI, you're up to the AI's discretion. You're up to the model's discretion, and it is what it is. Remember, because you don't know what you're doing. We are so spoiled that we feel entitled that when we don't know what we're doing and we want somebody else or something else to do it for us, that it's supposed to do it the way we want it, how we want it. But it's like, well, you don't know what you're doing, so how was the AI or the other person that you're having help you supposed to know when you don't even know what you're doing or what you're talking about? You have to think that way. So it's locating the OBS window, planning camera selection, open main cam actions. I don't understand why you just did not just copy and paste. And there's been times where it's been a very complicated process where I'll have to stop it and tell it to do something. And there's been times where it's so smooth, where I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Oh man, I'm hands back, I'm just chilling, and it's just moving and grooving the way that it should be. So it all depends on the AI and the model. I promise you all, Claude has hiccups, Gemini has hiccups, Grok has hiccups, all the AI has hiccups. It's not perfect. So it was able to right click and hopefully it can just quickly duplicate the scene. It's going through its process. Let's see if nope, I can't. Normally you can click this and you can see it's thinking, but right now, or normally, okay, it's my bad, wrong thing. There we go. So we have it right here. You can see all the actions and executions that it's taking. In this situation, it is taking a minute, but it is what it is. Now, I don't know why it does this, and it should not do. So sometimes, instead of doing it in the user interface, it wants to do it in the background. And it always thinks that it needs to close down OBS and then reopen it in order to do settings. That's something that I have to program it with instructions not to do that, either in the chat itself or the new thread. See, now we have main cam 2. Did it have to do that? No, it didn't. Could I have told it, hey, you don't need to close down OBS in order to do it? I could have said that, but I didn't say that. I didn't give it all that instructions. But these are things that I just want you all to know. Going through this process, going through this motion, you have to experiment. I've done so much experimentation. I know that this video probably was all over the place for some people watching this, but that's how all this is. There are a lot of content creators that make us feel entitled to the knowledge that we are getting, especially when it's for free. And we have no idea how many times it took that content creator to set things up, how many times it took that content creator to go through all the troubleshooting and the bugs and the errors and the issues where it worked before. Now it doesn't work when I'm recording and trying to do a tutorial. It happens all the time, y'all. And it's just something that you have to understand and get used to, because if you don't, you will lose. Last but not least, I'll share one more thing. So for example, I'm gonna go into a game. Cyberpunk, for example. I'm gonna go into Cyberpunk and I'm gonna ask it, what game am I playing, without it being able to see the name of the game. So I'm gonna let it get past all this right here. And then I'll ask it, hey, like, what game am I playing right now? And you can ask it, like, what mission are you on? help me find the mission, things like that. And it does, right? But this is the thing. You have to be playing your game through another app that can capture that video, or else it won't be able to see. Because if I was playing this and I was just using my monitor, right, it won't be able to see the game I'm playing. And that's something that I had to learn. Like a year ago when I was trying to do the same thing and I was not using an app like this, I'm like, it's not gonna work that way. So this way, it's able to see through the app that I'm using. So I'm gonna hit continue right here, and then I'm going to give it the prompt. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna click this. I want you to tell me what game am I playing right now using OBS. And let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. And this is what I think kids are going to be doing in the future. But see, I'm only using, you're playing Cyberpunk 2077. What I typically would do is I would use the voice mode. But right now, you're not going to be able to hear the voice mode because I'm using QuickTime, and QuickTime is only capturing audio through my mic. It's not capturing audio through the system, right? So in order for you all to hear the voice mode, I would have to be capturing audio through the system, not my actual mic. So, it doesn't make sense in order to do that. But look, it knew what game I was playing. And that's why I'm saying the kids are going to be using voice mode, talking to the AI in real time, because the voice mode has the same functionality as me just using the regular chat right here, where it can control the computer, it can record. The cool part is it can actually start a recording. So for instance, if I said, I want you to start recording, not in OBS, but I want you to use the record and replay plugin to record what's happening in OBS. So remember, you're not recording in OBS. You're not going to start recording in OBS. You're going to use a record and replay plugin. And that's something that you all should know as well too, that ChatGPT has a record and replay plugin where it can record and create a skill from the recording. See, right there, reading, record, and replay skill, right? And you don't have to create a skill from it. Sometimes you can just use that recording, because what ChatGPT does is if you don't use this feature, it will create snapshots, and it gets annoying because it can't see it in a fluid sense, right? So boom, you can see it right here. It can record up to 30 minutes. So right now it's recording what's happening on the screen. So if I start to move around right here, boom, 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 right? I'm moving around. It's gonna be able to see everything I'm doing in this game as long as it's being recorded in a very fluid way, right? And so that's something for you all to know too. If you're playing any video game, play it through an app. The reason why I like OBS is, one, it's free. And I'm so tired of paying subscriptions for everything, right? And two, it's popular. You have so much help in the community when it comes to this app. And three, once you set it up and you dial in your settings, everything becomes so smooth. So smooth. Now, it's recording, and it does not stop me from continuously asking ChatGPT questions. So what do you see on my screen right now? Like what mission am I on, or do you see? And how much ammo do I have? I'm gonna let that go through. And we'll see what it says. Now, the one thing I have to test, right? It says I'll inspect live OBS. I'll inspect live OBS without stopping the recording. So right now, it's not seeing through the recording. Once the recording ends, I believe it's able to see that. Right now, it's using computer use, normal computer use. It is taking like a screenshot in order to see that. See, analyzing screenshot. That's something that I did not always, I got annoyed with that. So right now, I'm having it recording. It's recording on my computer. And that's why you have to have a powerful CPU and GPU, because it makes a big difference. Right now, I'm doing a lot, and that's something I had to learn too. When you use that voice mode, it is a CPU, GPU, voice, a sound card hog, right? It will hog your system up. There we go. Mission is get it together. Objective, complete at least 3 gigs for Mr. Hands. 2 out of 3 completed. Ammo, 20 rounds loaded. I'm telling y'all, like, this is the future. This is the future. And I'm hoping somebody learned from this. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for watching this video. My name is Maestro Stevens with Iconic Templates. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if I haven't already said it. All right. My name is Maestro Stevens with Iconic Templates, and I'm out. Peace.